That's right, radio listeners that have been already Ultimo Hi-Fi experience on this very special Saturday here. It's Don House from Mission Mill, KMUZ 88.5 FM. Turn it up! Over to Gonzo.
Yo, we have liftoff, everyone. Hey, thanks for coming down, everyone. I'm Jim Gordon, and I'm one of the disc jockeys and a board member as well at KMUZ. This is a rather historic night. We really appreciate you coming down and being a part of it. We've got a nice evening planned the next couple hours, lots of interesting events, some fun things, some secrets and some prizes that I don't even know about, so we'll find out. And I'm like one of the inside people, so if I don't know about it, it's a cool surprise. So I want to mention a few things. First of all, this is being broadcast live on KMUZ 88.5 FM. So if you're not here, get on down here. We're going to have a good time the next couple hours till about 7. We want to thank folks like Gilgamesh and Anthony Del Ceros. We've got some wine and some beer over here. So you're welcome to come over and purchase a drink if you'd like while you're here. We have a lot of food. Please help yourself to some of the snacks around here if you haven't had dinner yet. Maybe this will suffice. It's not like a full-course meal or anything. It'll be a lot of fun. You'll look around, you'll see a lot of folks with badges on. And these people with badges, there's Vicky's got one. These are the people that have been trained and are approved to be programmers and DJs on KMUZ. And they're the people that can answer your questions. If you are not a programmer, we're always looking for more programmers. We still have some supposed to go in our slot. And of course, there's a number of things we'll be asking you to do tonight. One of them is to donate if you're able to do that. And there's a couple of ways you can do that. We have a gentleman here who works with our underwriting department. Here's Glenn. Glenn is able to answer any questions if you are with a company or you're an individual that wants to help underwrite some of our programs at KMUZ. And of course, if you can't do it tonight, you're welcome to do it any time on our website at kmuz.org. We're taking donations there. And we have a big jar. It's a lovely picture here. And we are taking donations there as well. So all help is appreciated. We are, by the way, a nonprofit tax, whatever what's it called, a 501(c)(3). And we are able to, of course, make a tax deduction. So, I want to introduce Karen. Karen Holman is our executive director on the board, president of the board, and she was the original one that got this whole idea for the radio station going many, many moons ago. And we're kind of going to get a history of the station and how it all came about. So, Karen Holman, go on.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. So I wanted to give a brief history, and I actually wanted to start out with something that, because I've told this story many, many times, and I thought I need to say something different that I haven't said before. So I wanted to tell you about the very first time when I started looking into this. And I remember sitting in my living room on a chair with my laptop in my lap, and I was about 6 months pregnant with my daughter, and my son was about 1 year old, crawling around in front of me. And they are now in 2nd and 4th grade. So a lot of time has passed, but that was when I first sat down on my laptop and first off realized how ridiculous the FCC.gov website is. And then also that's when I realized how difficult it is to get an FM station, a non-commercial educational station. And I thought, well, it had been 15 years since they allowed that to happen, but that means that it's just that much closer to possibly when you can have another station. So that was when I started getting on listservs and just of people who were starting radio stations or who had started them in the past, and just keeping an eye out. So that was around 2002, and it was 2006 when I found out that they were finally going to open that window of opportunity again to communities to finally have their radio stations. So it was 2006 that Prometheus Radio Project, a nonprofit out of Philadelphia that helps things like this happen, they were touring the Northwest, and so they contacted me and I contacted them, and we got them to give a talk at Willamette University. And so I put a call out to a lot of people to come, and what's amazing is I still have that sign-up sheet from May 2006 of a lot of the people who showed up to that first meeting to find out more about community radio. And many of those people are now DJs and are involved, and so it's incredible that they've hung out and around for this whole process. So after that, we found a nonprofit organization, Salem Folklore Community, who said that they would be the sponsors. Essentially, they would own the broadcast license if we were successful. And so I got on their board, and we started one of the committees to get this going. And it was in October of 2007 that we finally submitted the application. So that was a full year process, and Brown Broadcast Services played a huge role in that. So they're an outstanding radio engineering company in Portland, and they did some phenomenal work for us. And I wanted to point out that at that point we raised $5,000 for all of the expenses that it took to get the application submitted. So this isn't to get the radio station going at all, this is just to get it going, and for the chance of having a community station here, $5,000, all of that was donated just by people who really wanted this to happen, 100%. We're just taking a chance. And so a big heartfelt thanks to all those people who had the faith that this would happen, because here it is. In August 2008, that was when we received a letter from the FCC saying, you've got it. There were other applicants for that frequency, but Brown Broadcast Services did an outstanding job on the radio or the engineering portion of the exhibit, and therefore we were granted that license. So we got the construction permit, and what it said on that construction permit was that you must be on the air by August 2011. Well, in August 2008, August 2011 seems so far in the future. And it's like, okay, oh, that's cool, all right. And there were just a few people who knew about it at that point. And it wasn't until June of 2009 when Janine said, Karen, you better get some more people on this. Because at that point it was her and me and maybe someone else. But not a lot of us knew what to do or were doing a lot. And so that's what I called the radio rally on June 9th, 2009, Tim's birthday. So Tim was there, Vicki was there, a lot of people came in, and what's really cool is I have a picture of the audience on that night, and again, I can point out people who were there in the audience, and again, who are now here still with us. So at that point, we just slowly were getting more and more people, and everyone who's been involved knows how crazy the ride has been. There were times when we were considering not going FM and just being online. I wasn't going to do that, but we were just talking about it because it seemed so insurmountable. All of the things that we needed to do, the money we needed to raise, how we were going to get the tower up on the hill, and the antenna, the list goes on and on. So there has been miracle after miracle. One of those is our call letters, KMUZ. How cool are those? And we happened to be looking in and found those call letters the day that KMUZ in Gresham decided to dump the call letters. So we got some great call letters and people coming into the story one by one and bringing in everything to bring us up to where we are today. In November 2010 is when WINES was formed. So that's the nonprofit that took the radio station construction permit from Salem Folklore Community. Everyone wanted to do it. It wasn't like we stole it from them, but they sold it to us for $1, and everyone, they were so supportive all the way. But now we have our own nonprofit, WINES, Willamette Information News and Entertainment Service, that is now the governing board, and we are all committed 100% to KMUZ. And so since then, the story from there to getting on the air in August 2011 is a crazy one, and I think Dave will be touching upon that. But we were on the air early August, and it was just a phenomenal day up on the hill, and Janine and I are in the back of her van, and we're talking, and my daughter's singing up there, and it was a beautiful day. So we made it, and now this studios we have, the number of people who have been involved with donating space, equipment, time, and everything to make what you see in there now is magnificent. And it's just, I can't tell you how happy I am to be here, because not only do we have the physical space, do we have an antenna up on a hill, but we have a family. We have this community radio station family that I missed so much when I was in Santa Barbara and I had a station there and came up here and it wasn't here. And it's just incredible. It makes me really happy. So I am going to pass the mic over to Dave Hammock, who's been instrumental. So thank you, and Tim will take it from here.
I really like this part.
Thank you for doing everything. The hummus is awesome, by the way. This is Jody.
People's Radio Hero Award. We're a People's Radio Hero for all the work in getting us our construction permit. And in this process, I was discussing putting up this temporary tower and taking it down. All of that required applications to the FCC at each step. This guy got to do all that joyful work.
No, God.
And Mike Johnson has worked actually with Mike Brown in the application process and directly with us in helping us with the transmitter site. So Mike Johnson, you were also awarded the People's Radio Hero Medal. And thank you very, very much. These guys are great.
Profit event without a pitch for funds. So I need your complete and rapt attention, please. I'm also impressed by all the other speakers who didn't need notes, and that's not me. But again, we wouldn't be on the air if it weren't for our generous contributions from individuals, many of you who are in the room, from businesses in the form of underwriting, and grants from government and public organizations. That's how we fund ourselves. We have raised over $50,000 in cash and about $20,000 in equipment and other in-kind donations. And we did that all before we were on the air. Yeah. So what that means is that there's a lot of trust in the community, because we're not even on the air and we're asking you to give $100,000, $500,000 donations. So thank you for that trust and believing in us. But I do want to give you a little bit of information about our financial situation right now, because we are a community. We just gave birth to a radio station, and it takes a village to raise a child, right? Am I right? Yeah. All right. So our financial situation right now, we still owe $7,500 to pay off the cost of developing and building our antenna at Whipper Hill. And as Dave mentioned earlier, the original estimate for all of this project was $189K, but we did it with donations and clever decision making. We built it for about $16,000. So we have been frugal with your funds so far. Our other needs. We would like a security fence around our tough shed at the antenna site, just to protect our equipment from vandalism. We currently have monthly expenses of $500, but that's going to increase to $1,100 monthly when we finally start paying rent on our studios. And if you saw them today, they're beautiful. They've been given to us free of charge up until March 2012. We will have annual expenses, dues, insurance, licensing fees of about $3,000. And we really, really need, as soon as possible, 1 to 2 full-time staff. We have been operating a radio station 24/7 with volunteers. And that means the people who have been the operations manager, Max, and the new program manager, Tim, who's been DJing. That takes a lot of time and attention. And this is something that we need to be able to pay someone to do. So that's our short-term goal, to make enough money so we can hire a couple of people. We have a 3-year goal of obtaining a second transmitter close to Salem to improve the signal in Salem and Kaiser.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, because right now, I understand some of you are having a little bit of a hard time hearing us, but this is a long-term project.